Welcome everyone, this is DragonInWhite and we are continuing on with the main quest in Final Fantasy XIV, so let's jump right into it. Hey, gotta click on this and then close. Why can't I close the inventory? Okay. Minfilia has another lead for you to pursue. While you were tending to business in Tenderland, some new information arrived courtesy of our friends the Sylph. An individual fitting Lahabre's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the self-same area. My instincts tell me that our man is involved. I will have you continue your investigation where you left off. If willing, we'll pick up Lahabre's trail once more. Noracia can furnish you with the details. Pray, speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there, Dragon. That loading took a while, somehow. Okay, this way, yeah? Noracia. Walking 1 is to investigate Sinister 1? Then heed well this one's word. This one is friend with a Walking 1 in the Ash Crown Consortium. According to Friendly 1, a digging one named Medrod had an encounter with a scary masked one. This masked one is most certainly Sinister 1. Walking 1 should go and speak with Digging 1 Medrod. Digging 1 is to be found at Forgot Float, afloat in the North Shroud. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna teleport straight there. Money is no concern. Wait, what? Up there, perhaps? No? Inside the house. Inside the house. Oh dang, tricky one. Please, leave me be. I'm not long for this war. I just look death in the face. It's only a matter of time before he comes for me. Just like he came for that poor woman. Medrod is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm enough, long enough to hold a conversation. Whoops. To the soothe. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man, garbed head to toe in black. He has a hideous fin in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared to see the corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me she died a gruesome death. In that instance, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Tao, come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating this same masked man? If that is the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure we won't have to suffer Medrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork, that's what I wanted to. Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventurer. It's the least I can do to repay him for comforting me. Good lead. Young team. So here's what I know about the death. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scale kin known as Zids to inflict such wounds. That's why some folks are pointing the fingers at them. I somehow doubt that the answer's that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the death? That way? Do I fly fast in this place? And I'm not sure. Feels okay. No, not particularly fast, I think. I can't wait till I have flying mounts. That would be awesome. Right, there's a this. One. Here's the second one. Not sure the positioning thing really worked. Oh well. Upwards. Just ignoring, I outrun them anyway. Or at least I think I do. I think I do, yeah. You already seen to the zits? Good work, adventurer. So were you able to find aught to suggest that the creatures are our culprit? Nothing? Truth be told, even if there was proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike this off our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. What's this? Got 2 of them to talk to. Further knowledge. Okay, let's talk to him first. There's something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medrod's paranoia. But I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when the shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in the gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. This happened at the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Let's talk to her as well. There's something I heard about the death. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I better watch myself, eh? Hehehe. Unseemly jabs aside, there's a rumor's been going around. There's some as whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crack. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. Using items for area. Okay, access, select the item. Okay. Okay, they're both in that place. Sort of a bunch of, you know, fetch quests and things like that. Again, it's story rich, but, you know, too many pointless quests. I wouldn't have mind something like kill 50 of this mob, kill 50 of that mob, and then, you know, come back, deal with it. It is still a fun game, no doubt. It's just that the quests sometimes can be a little story dull. No, not story dull, but a little dry in terms of what they are being done. Column fragment is not what I'm going for. Town is what I want. Our destination is there. I have a feeling I should have healed up before I investigated. Oh well, that's enough life, I suppose. Okay, one done. Next one to go. Humming crystal. A little on the slower end. Okay, and getting a little tired and lazy, so no more teleporting. I mean, no point wasting your time with traveling, right? Okay, let's talk to this one first. A monstrous DragonInWhite appeared and you slew it. That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of fell god. Intentional or no, you have done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or was it a trick of the light combined with blind panic? Most folks are too scared to go within 100 yards of the Rock of Rancor. Ah, it has a name, but what's a few vengeful spirit to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? I got a feeling she just made use of me to investigate something. Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they are definitely lightning expected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains all the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. It looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sand stick. Oh well. Yeah, like you didn't have the intention all the while. Madrod is troubled by the dearth of New developments in the murder investigation. There's been no promising lead in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep, knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging from your furrowed eyebrows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I've been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt it was a winged eyeball I had witnessed. It seems implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for Banemite. But you and I were miles apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with the Bane Knight at the very spot you claim to see that finished eyeball. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, perhaps it's not as mysterious as we are making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be. Of course, there must be more than one of those buggers. Ugh, it's so obvious. But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, then there must be even more victims yet undiscovered. Why are you looking at me? I do believe we are out of our depths. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yes, we are just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. Well, I burn to know the truth. Some things are best left unknown. Lest you've forgotten, it was at the rocky area to the west that I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you will want to alert the authorities. There's a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertain to the security of the region. Okay. Search for Maiden's corpse. Dang it, the area again. I wish I could like quick save a look. You know how, okay, like, it's a very old game, but Diablo 2, whenever you use a town scroll to create a portal back to the town, the portal remains open until you go back through it. I kind of wish there's this function here, you know, go back to town and come back again. Because a lot of these places that we're going are all the same location. Or well, similar areas at least. Why, zits are here. Who's to say that there isn't a zit that mangled them? Floating eye. Can I get up from here? Apparently not. Gotta go the long way round. Well, okay, to be fair, not really that long a long way round. Greetings, adventure. Is there aught I might assist you with? Not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical death has been reported in the central shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of the wing. Blah blah blah. I must have been really tired. Okay, identical deaths have been reported in the central shroud. While the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creatures appear to be moving the bodies, but to what end? None can say. The victims have all been young women, or are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them, so as to identify their necks of. This button, engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil, or that of an organization, perhaps. Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. Right, let's push on. I would have you hold on to the lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I may make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mione. Mayhap someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. Wait, aren't you the person who's supposed to be investigating? Well, Mione it is. This direction? Yep. Ah, she's inside the guild. Good evening to you, Dragon. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. Where do you say you found this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette over by the Aetheryte Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. Alright, to Bernadette we go. Boy, my FPS dropped to 20 in this area. Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then, show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old. Although I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Sangolet over at the Lancers Guild. That woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a forename basis. Quite clearly, I'm actually starting to get a little tired. We do have a bit more time, so you know, let's clear off what we can. Bernadette believes I can help you? Well, that's a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fail, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gantry's ward, northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late, there's been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Ursandal, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. Where is this one? Well, not really a place which I can... Why did I remove sprint from that? I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray, leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of the Dragon's family. How is it you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? Her face, was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. I shall reveal to you the truth of the death, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. Interesting. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest family in Gridania, the Cantors. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household, fair as the summer she was and possessed of a heart befitting of her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Although my lady escaped with her life, death may well be a kinder fate. Never will I forget the days her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thoughts of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within her chambers and refused all company. This continued for many uneasy moons until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guesses. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her regain that which she had lost, so began the rites of rejuvenation. This ritual seems innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaidens to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bait obedient servant that I was, but when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after the nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Huck Manor, my home for half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, and longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavoured to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I resolved never to speak of my experience, until you appeared before me. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent's life be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at Huck Manor, on the western edge of the central shroud. Go now. Go and do what must be done. Well, that sounds like an interesting instance that I will probably have to go through, and I think this is where we'll leave it for today. Both YouTube, Twitch and everything, you know, it's kind of getting late, I'm tired, and before I go off, usual shameless plugs. Check out the novels I translate at hostednovel.com. EIF and IMDC, these are the specific ones. Links are down in the description below in the description, and also if you want to check out the other links, I have like my Patreon if you'd like to support me for what I do, whether translations or the YouTube, they are down there. Book depository affiliate link, you know, if you buy books off there, I get a small commission of them, of course at no extra cost to you. And finally, merch store, you get Dragon and White merch, like Dragon and White t-shirts, and one big logo behind as well. You get the dragon wearing the lab coat. And finally, subscribe to our channel if you have not liked the video. If you liked it, ding the bell. And if you are live on Twitch, follow me. And with that, I'll bid all of you goodbye. Ciao.